Dennis and Jason here with EatSleepLift.com, podcast number 13. Another Sunday evening. Nice cold weather in Tampa, Florida. How are you?
Well, cold is kind of relative. It's still
Oh,
like 60 degrees.
yeah, but the cold weather here is different than it is in different places, though. Because
You mean it's actually being cold and this is not cold?
yeah, well, I mean, I've been in cold weather, and up north, 60 degrees is like t-shirt weather. Here, it's like you gotta put a parka on.
I was in 60-degree weather up there in Wisconsin, northern Wisconsin, and I was out there in t-shirts and shorts,
Milking the cows.
milking cows, killing chickens on a day's work.
Now, did you? I mean, have you ever done any of that stuff before, like killing chickens and stuff?
No, I mean I've been on a farm, but not didn't get close to the. I mean I never. Let's just clarify that I never lived on a farm, but since my parents are both from Wisconsin, I've visited relatives that have either owned farms or had friends that were farmers that I visited farms. Um, so no, that's it. But my
So the answer is
uncle,
no.
huh?
So the answer is no.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
But my uncle, who now has for the past 10 years actually does have his own farm because he's 100% self-sustained in terms of any kind of food products. He does not need to ever go to the grocery store for anything. Um, and so we went to stayed at his house and was up there on the farm. So yeah, got to do a week's worth of farm work of farming.
So did you grow a greater appreciation for your food or anything, having done all that stuff, that gathering
There's
and farming?
there's so much that goes into like just getting a gallon of milk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was I can imagine. I went up there every night. I had to milk the cows,
At
and
night?
you were like
Wait, you milk
my
the cows at
entire
night? You milk
yeah.
them at
We
night?
let them feed all day. We let them out in the morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning and just let them feed all day, and then milked them at night.
Huh. Usually, I've always, at least have my
We were
grandparents and stuff. He was
you're
milking them in the
supposed to
morning.
milk them twice a day, but the cows weren't really producing a ton of milk at the time.
Uh huh.
So we just because we were still the cow was still nursing, so we didn't get a ton of it.
Yeah.
So we just did it one time at night. Um, but I tell you what, that is it's like a finger workout, a forearm workout, and a shoulder workout all at the same time.
It's one of those things where it's kind of like those unconventional workouts where you really don't think about it, but it works you out. Well, it's like when you watch what's that one show, that crab fishing show, um
Deadliest catch.
Deadliest Catch, where like they have the greenhorns, and they're like extremely sore like the first couple of days because they're using all these muscles that they've never used before out in that cold weather.
It was like I would like sit there and then be like my arm would be burning from all the like work I was doing. I get like 5 cups of milk. Like it was amazing. If you do this by hand, there's no way you're gonna get a gallon just because of how hard it is to actually get the milk.
Yeah, you have to
You're
keep
like,
squeezing the teeth.
5 cups, I can do that.
Yeah. um
I mean, it was, but yeah. So did that every day, and then basically taking care. They had chickens, like 60 chickens. They had just one cow and a calf that we had to take care of, um, and then a bunch of gardening type stuff to do.
hmm.
But
so
that was my entire week.
was your Thanksgiving like straight, everything was, nothing was store bought, or was there still some things like cranberry sauce or something like that?
No, we had. Well, I mean, let me see what we had. We had all the normal stuff. We didn't have ham because we didn't have a
Pig.
pig. Um,
How do you know how you make ham? Because it seems like the ham that we buy at the store is very different from ham is how it's traditionally made. Like, you usually cut the leg off and then you would just smoke it,
yeah,
salt and
it's
smoke
the
it, right?
ham hock thing. It's just a big giant leg.
And just slow cook it.
I believe so. I mean, I don't
Because
know.
like when you
We didn't have a pig.
like think of the consistency of ham, right? And then think of the consistency of pork. It's so completely different that if I didn't know any better, I think they were different animals.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I guess I never thought about that. I guess it is possibly the way they cook it.
Because I mean, like, it's so completely different. And I just always wondered, and I've never bothered to look it up because I know the stuff that you buy at the store, like the ham for your sandwiches and stuff. A lot of that tends to be like they boil
I
it
don't
and
know.
smash it
Maybe it's
together,
like
kind of thing.
secretly a unicorn or something like that. and we just don't know
Yeah.
about it. But it's just so
we
good.
should we should totally start a campaign. The most protein-rich food in the world is unicorn meat. I could just see it like all getting politicians on board. Like, oh, we need to outlaw eating unicorns, and people are like, do they not know unicorns don't really exist? we'll just strap we'll
You could
strap
just
horns onto a horse and
you could
call it a
just tell them
unicorn.
they'd make a ton of money from it, and they would totally support it.
Or maybe we should save the unicorn from protein consumption. Or they're being that's how where they get whey protein from is unicorns, like unicorn
Hmm.
horns, kind of like how they have the rhino horns, poachers and stuff. Unicorn horn poachers. That's where they make whey protein isolate from.
We should do.
That would be kind of funny.
But back to the original question, I forget it now, but
Working on a farm.
yeah, working on. Oh yeah, never been really working on a farm before. Um,
So are
so
you still eating like
it was a
16
week
eggs
of
a day, or
experience, huh?
did you still have like 16 eggs a day?
Yeah, I went out there,
How many
got the eggs
chickens?
every morning.
How many chickens did you have?
60.
That's a good amount.
60. There was like 60, roughly 60 hens, and then two roosters.
Yeah, each rooster eats quite a bit of hens for to keep it happy.
Yeah,
They're
it's
like
kind of weird
pimps.
because they're all like really horny in the morning. Like you let him out of the hen house and the chicken coop, whatever.
Penthouse
And that's like the first
or
thing he
whatever it's
does
called.
is like we put out the food, you spread the food out on the ground. The roosters could care less about eating; they just care about humping the entire time.
They're like,
And like
right,
the hens are like
Shirley,
all
you're
trying to
next.
eat, and the roosters all it, and they're trying to like hump them and stuff. It's hilarious.
That's pretty funny. Did you guys
Yeah.
have turkey?
Huh?
Did you have turkey?
I think we did.
Did you? Well, I was
We
just
didn't.
asking if you hunted or if it was like farm grown turkey that you guys have with the chickens, or that he has
I'm.
with the chickens.
They don't hunt. They actually the my uncle doesn't hunt, but I'm pretty sure they got it from their neighbors. I
Hmm.
think that do hunt.
Well, you can raise turkeys. I mean, it's not
Right,
something
but
that's unheard of.
they don't raise turkeys for a once a year thing.
Did you know that I think 100% or like 99.8% of turkeys are actually in vitro fertilized or artificially inseminated?
Well, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, like the ones that you buy at the store, they're all artificially inseminated. Like, there's no like natural turkey banging.
Turkey
Yeah,
banging.
yeah, to the point where like actually a lot of turkeys don't know how to mate because they haven't done it in their lives and generations that they actually don't know what to do. Like they just kind of sit there like okay, it's kind of sad actually. But moving on, outside of our well, you worked out. Oh, you were there, right? Did you work out? Was it? Well, that was one of the things about like working out in the extreme cold. Did you have to like?
Well,
You didn't stick your tongue to the cold steel bar or anything, did you?
no, it did not.
That would be kind of funny though.
The thing is he's obviously on a farm in northern Wisconsin, so it's a very like remote location. Um, the closest town of like was like 500 people, and that was probably 15, about 15 miles away or so. So it's just like his house was just out there, kind of in the in the
The
woods, I guess
outskirts.
I'd say. That's surrounded all by cow or not cow, but sorry, cornfields.
Hmm.
And the only gym they have in the entire town is at the high school
It's like
gym,
a was it
which
like
is not even a high school. It's like K through 12
yeah, it's
school.
like everybody goes there.
Yeah,
That's
everyone
such a
goes there.
small town. You think of 500 people, man. I can't even like where you know everybody. Like our
Yeah,
college was what? I can't the magnitudes more than
the
500 people.
college we went to was like it was like 55,000 people,
Well, if you just look at the university, yeah, like but even just like the straight college inside the university is at
and you were the
least
only person I ever met there. Out of
yeah.
55,000 people, I had to meet you.
Yeah, that's pretty ironic.
Couldn't be a hot girl. Had to be you.
What can I say? What can I say?
um, but yeah, yeah. But anyway, so my uncle still works out. He used to be really into lifting, I guess, years ago, and still tries to maintain, um, his shape there, so he can actually go out there and work on the farm. So we went to the gym 2 times last week, just because you have to wake up at 5 in the morning because the gym well, the gym is only available from 5 to 8 in the morning because then the school kids have it and you can't be there, I guess, when the kids
I'll
are
say, so
there.
do you have like a membership to the gym, or is it just kind of like, hey, it's a community
No,
gym?
it's open to the entire town for free.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
You
not
just show up at like 5 in the morning, between 5 and 8, and work out. Um, so I made sure to do at least I did squats every morning to work up because it is northern Wisconsin. It is late November, so it was pretty cold. Um, and basically just did squats to warm up, and then on Monday or no, it was Wednesday. Wednesday did some chest, so I got some bench, and they actually had a bench there. Um, and then they did some some inclines from their flat bench, and then did a bunch of um, cable.
cable exercises,
Yeah, I can't even think of the name right now of them.
crossovers.
Yeah, the flies. Sorry, cable flies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, did two different. I mean, it was a small gym, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of limited to what you can do. Because they only had like dumbbells that went up to like maybe 50s and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it was definitely different though working out in the cold compared to the Florida heat. It was like I was telling you today in the gym. Um, I felt like a machine that hadn't been oiled at all.
Need some
Like
30
it
in one
was just
oil.
like it. Like when I did squats like the first thing in the morning. I mean, granted, it's like 5:30 in the morning,
Yeah,
and
you're still
I
tight
always work
and
out at like nighttime, so it was a complete change. Um, but yeah, I felt like when I did my first like warm up sets and squat, it felt like I was just grinding like metal against metal on actually trying to do anything. And that's basically the way it was the entire time.
oh, that's what it's like for me all the time. Speaking of um temperature, you like to stay cold when you work out, don't you? Like you don't like to be warm.
No, I don't. I
See,
don't wear
that's
sweatpants and I don't wear sweatshirts or anything like
well,
that.
I'm not saying like go full out like give up on the world style, but I prefer to stay. I prefer to work out where it's hot. Like I don't like working out where it's cold. I feel like I cool off too easily.
Well, define cold. I mean, we talking about like freezing cold, or are we talking about like it's cold inside the gym, like
I
70 degrees
like to be
cold?
at the point where I'm sweating.
I sweat a lot though.
Like to me, like I'd like if I had a choice, I would work out like maybe not in the summer, but like say in the spring, like Florida outside. And like that was probably one of the times that I worked out the most when I was working out here. I'd basically just work outside, like almost
Didn't
in
you
just
want to open a
shorts.
gym on the beach?
No, I never wanted to do that.
Yeah, you did. You talked about it one day.
Why would I ever want to do that?
You said I want to go open a gym on the beach.
I think I
You
talked
said
about
that.
working out at the beach, but I never want to open up a beach at the gym or a gym at the
You
beach.
weren't serious about it, but you said it as just part of the conversation.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna open up a gym, you can open a bunch of them. Why not? But yeah, no, I wouldn't
Well,
want to open up a gym on the beach. That seems kind of productive. You just want to sit there and catch some sun or something. I was gonna say go surfing, but we don't have any waves here in Florida. At least not on the west coast.
well, yeah, not on the West Coast, not on the
Well, the
on
west
the.
east coast isn't much better though. I mean, it is much better, but it's not like you're not gonna catch any killer waves or anything. At least not that I'm aware of.
It was like Kelly Slater's though. He's from like is it what's that one beach by Daytona Beach?
I have no idea. Oh, Apollo Beach? Oh,
Dude, wrong coast
no,
again.
I'm thinking. What's the other one? The one that's right near the. Oh my gosh. There's Daytona Beach, and I know you were talking about it. It's the one that's
New Smyrna, isn't it?
no, or maybe, but that's the other one that's
Oh, he's from Cocoa Beach. There we
Cocoa
go.
Beach. That's the one. Yeah,
Yeah,
nowhere
he's from
near.
Cocoa
Yeah,
Beach.
but oh well. Speaking of which, I purchased a copy of Reps magazine, which, as you pointed out, is not a name brand magazine, which is one of the reasons why I purchased it. And having glanced through it, I haven't read it all, but I'm actually kind of surprised. It doesn't go off on a limb and tell you to do crazy things or tell you to do crazy diets or anything. It's actually pretty straightforward. As you know, a lot of times magazines will tell you to do some kind of crazy exercise. But this one's pretty good. And speaking of how you're talking about farms, if there's actually the last article in the back is a "Yes, you may die," talking about this basically like I guess I've seen some guy in Vermont has a farm and he just creates like some kind of crazy race. Apparently, last time or last year, one of them made him the people cut firewood and eat 10 pounds of onions. So they had to like cut the onions and eat the onions. Yeah, apparently only like maybe 10% of the people finish the race. It's just completely random shit, like cutting firewood, crawling under barbed wire and stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in the possibility of dying, I believe the website is yesyoumaydie.com. I think.
Yesyoumaydie.com.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I haven't looked at it yet, but I have no interest. But if you're, well, it seems like it's okay. Think of like a Tough Mudder, right? Which we
Yeah.
all know how you feel about Tough Mudder because you suck at it and don't feel like ever doing it, just like me. And it seems like that, but mentally crazier, and you have to actually be in shape to finish it, which is kind of one of the gripes
And
I have
eat
about Tough
lots of
Mudder.
onions.
Yeah. Well, apparently the guy just comes up with the random shit. My guess is he has a farm and he just needs a bunch of shit done, so he just has everybody do it. He's like, hey, I need to cut firewood. You guys go ahead and cut this firewood for 6 hours. And then
So
continue on
it's
the
actually
race.
like a race, but it's just like a bunch of crazy stuff.
Yeah, and it's like a mental and physical. Like they'll be screaming at you like, hey, you're only a quarter of the way through when like you're near the end. So like, what the fuck? So like, it's kind of has that mental aspect too. Apparently, seems interesting, but I have no interest in doing it ever. I'm not into the whole put yourself through that kind of pain thing. I'm not special forces. I'm not surviving the end of the world.
Well, the kids are, or not the kids, I should say, the people at my work are actually getting ready. I think it's the Tough Mudder is coming up here early in December.
Yeah, it seems like that's a yearly thing now. They do it every December. I see. I would think it would be much more fun if you were to do something like a Tough Mudder, but you had teams and they all had paintball guns, or like a zombie style Tough Mudder. So like you had to you had to survive. There's people trying to attack you, kind of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
you could do like a Walking Dead meets Tough Mudder. I think it'd be an interesting take on the zombie apocalypse type thing. But it is what it is. So yeah. So we did squats today, like always, every Sunday.
Is that the only thing you have from the entire magazine that you read?
Well, no, I mean I have some other things. Speaking of squats, they were talking here how they did there was a Duke University um study that people were at least 5% stronger on a Smith machine compared to a squat rack.
Well, that's
Which,
kind of stupid. Everyone
yeah,
knows
I know.
that.
I wonder who the fuck funded that, because that just makes sense to me. I mean, it's like, yeah, if you want to get the most weight out of your squat, move to a Smith machine. I was like, I don't know about that. But yeah, I mean, like, well, some of the other stuff in here too was like the basic workout plan was which is very basic stuff. Squat, deadlift, lateral raises, that kind of thing. And they weren't telling you to do some kind of upside down seated barbell bench press with ropes and a unicorn. So,
Why would they tell you to do squats on a Smith machine?
well, I mean, that's what they were. That was just based on the study, but I don't know. You can ask Duke University why. But yeah. I mean, the magazine's pretty good. I'm gonna read the rest of it.
I want to know how many ads in there claim to like boost your strength by 30% in one use of their product.
I don't know.
I've seen that before, like especially on Muscle Tech's ads.
Oh, well, I picked up.
It's like take one scoop of this for a week and your strength will be up 30% on your bench press.
I forgot which one of the. I think might have been Muscle and Fitness, or the one with Arnold on the cover currently. I picked it up and it felt like I was picking up a 600-page book because it was so thick, and I just imagined like the amount of advertisements in there. It's just
That's all it is.
It's yeah. I mean, that's
I,
basically
I
and
like
everything else
sometimes
is
when I'm in the
filler.
bookstore, I'll flip through a Flex magazine or a Muscle and Fitness magazine. It's like there's 80 pages in that magazine. Maybe like 15 pages are actually information that's probably not good information at all. The rest is complete advertisements. Like, why would you buy a magazine for like $8 and it be basically 90% ads that you're paying for? You could care less about anyways.
Yeah, I've noticed if you buy magazines at the store, they're expensive. You basically have to like buy a subscription through Amazon, like a yearly subscription. Like you can probably get this magazine for a year, probably for like $15 is my guess. I haven't looked yet, as opposed to whatever it was I paid for it, $6. Yeah, but I mean, I don't really read many magazines, obviously. But one of the things I kind of like about it is they kind of highlight all the important points of an article. It's like if you're just skimming, you're like, oh, blah, here it is. This was the cost per pound of eating alligator meat is $11.55. And that's for sausage. You ever had alligator meat?
Yeah.
Good, bad?
Tastes exactly like chicken.
God, you're so white. Only white people say that.
It does. Ask anyone.
Nothing tastes like chicken except chicken. Nothing.
Everything tastes like chicken.
You're so white.
I
But
don't think I don't think my taste buds distinguish between white or black
your taste buds are
or
racist.
yellow or whatever.
They're racist. Your taste buds are racist. Um,
Okay, my taste buds are racist.
but yeah, I'm gonna read through the rest of this magazine, see whatever stuff is in here. It's very geared towards guys, obviously, especially the quote unquote sex tips area. I thought that was kind of stupid. Oh, one of the best ads in here actually was is for Astroglide. Apparently, Astroglide now has flavored. These lubes are generally marketed for novelty purposes. Or wait, is this even? Actually, I don't know. Is this an advertisement? I don't
You have
know.
no idea what you're reading, do
Well,
you?
no. Look. Here it
You
is.
saw Astroguy and you're like,
No,
hey.
here's the article, and here's the Astroglide picture, right? But I
Okay,
can't
let me
tell if
see.
it's.
Hot girl in the background, bottled
It looks
sex
like an
is the
advertisement.
title,
It
and
looks
an
like an
Astroguy.
advertisement, but at the same time, it's got to be an advertisement that's disguised as like an article. You know how they do
But
that
it
kind of
said
stuff.
it was for what purposes?
No, it's just talking about for ultimate pleasure. Know your lubricants. I don't know. I think it might just be. I don't know. It seems too much like an advertisement to not be an advertisement. But yeah, flavored
Oh,
lubricants.
I'm sorry. They were actually disguising the article around like sex, but then they want to throw in Astroglide in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
I said, I don't know.
that's a paid advertisement
It's
right
got to
there.
be. That's my guess. Because yeah,
Hmm.
I hate. That's like when you go on the internet, like, oh, it's an article. Or like, nope, it's an advertisement. I hate that stuff. Um, but yeah. So I'll report in next week on this thing. This seems to have some good food recipes and stuff. Not as many advertisements as your typical magazine, which might be why it's not as well known yet. But I don't know. But that's that. Um, yeah. So we squatted today on the rack they used last. That you've been telling me about the no safeties, basically powerlifting. Um, rack. And did you find that the masking tape helped at all?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, because
It
yeah,
made me stutter step a lot more. Like it took me 10 times as long to actually start squatting because I was worried about where my foot placement was. But it helped a lot because I noticed how far off my stance was in terms of putting too much strain on one leg and not on the other, equaling out the load between the two.
yeah, I noticed that I have a really wide stance, and when I first got there, I started warming up a little bit, and I started doing some squats, like kind of just free weight, and I realized that yeah, my steps were very, very wide apart, very almost like 2 inches forward with my left foot, and then when we put the tape on down and we started doing real squats, it was very you look down and you're like you're not aligned at all. So yeah, it definitely helped as well. So it's definitely a I wouldn't say pro tip, but yeah, if you just go get some masking tape, just lay it on the floor, and you don't have to be straight because as long as you're lined up with the masking tape, you're gonna be straight. So it's not really gonna matter.
You're gonna be straight.
It's great. And also you kind of showed me that spotting technique for um when you're doing like PRs and stuff.
Oh well, the guy, the kind of like the pro guy I work out with during the week showed this to me because he does it quite frequently when he's helping his friends. Now, granted, they do a lot more weight. I mean, they're squatting
Yeah, they're
five
pros.
a minimum 500 pounds, well into the 600s and even some 700 pound squatters. So this is kind of like the technique that he uses when he is spotting a guy that's going for like a PR or a very heavy squat that's he's kind of unsure about. Just because if you're a spotter and you need to get out of the way quickly, this kind of allows you to do it in a safely manner, and instead of possibly having a bar land on you if you're spotting someone.
Yeah, because well,
Um,
yeah, if you don't have, I guess if you only have one spotter, the typical spotting stance for a squat is you come up behind, and it's almost like you're standing behind the person, and you're gonna basically hook your arms underneath them and basically grab their pecs if they can't raise it, kind of thing. And obviously, that's you can use that. Well, they use that too in powerlifting competitions, but that's when they have 3, 4 spotters. Um, but yes, but if yeah, like you're saying, if it's only like say two people working out, um, it's very different. That what you showed me, or how was it again? I don't even. Was it?
All right. So when obviously when a guy is spotting and um, you're going to have the bar is going to be on your back, right? And a lot of better squatters put the bar a lot lower on their back.
Yeah, so it's more in line with your
Right.
spine.
Um, so what I was kind of shown to do is that when the person goes down, and let's say they start struggling with it, instead of doing the double underhooks, is what he called it, where you put both your arms underneath the guy's, basically underneath his arms, and you grasp his chest and you start trying to you pull him up as well.
Yeah, kind of like the
So instead
standard.
of doing that, because that leads to him the squatter to possibly bailing, which he would just let go of the bar, it'd fall down his back, and then hit the ground, and he wouldn't get hurt. But let's say he didn't tell you or didn't warn you, then the bar would possibly hit your arms while you're trying to pull him up, and all of a sudden you have 500 pounds resting on your biceps,
So curl. You better
which is
curl that.
not going to be a good feeling at all. Um, or you possibly have the scenario where the guy is squatting and the bar just rolls down his back and he can't control it for whatever reason, and it ends up hitting you as well. So what you do is you take one hand. This guy. Now this is going to be when the guy is struggling, right? Or whoever's struggling to actually complete the squat. You take one hand, you push the bar, hold the bar in place on the guy's back,
In the middle of the back.
on the middle of the back. You kind of put your hand forcibly on the bar and kind of like more or less push it up against the guy's back.
So it's like a third hand
Um,
almost.
huh?
It's almost like a third hand, like to have a third hand. So I guess like if it's just kind of
Right.
barely slipping, you're just gonna provide enough to keep it
Yeah, so you
there.
basically try to pin the bar against the guy's back or whoever's back, when then you still do one underhook. You do one underhook. So as you have your hand on the bar pushing it to the person's back, you take your other, whether hand you feel comfortable with or arm you feel comfortable with, and you still do it. You put it underneath their arm, put it up on their chest, and you start pulling them up as well. This allows you to, because if let's say the person just cannot move, like it's not a simple matter of 100 pounds that he needs to back up. He just can't get back up, or he or she can't get back up at all, and they have to bail. That allows you to just pull out your one hook out quickly and just release the bar with your other hand, and it falls straight down. No one gets hurt. So that's another that was a
Well, and
another spotting technique.
I don't even know
Um,
if that's. I mean, that's like an extreme bail because usually when you bail from the squat, you're just gonna dump it overhead though. That's like I can see it like if it got to the point where like it slid down past a point where they can actually like it's some you know what I'm saying like they're not even gripping it at that point where they can't bail it out overhead. You know what I'm saying? Like if it kind of slips out of your hands, that's pretty much the only bailing out that I can see. No, maybe.
no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, because usually when you bail on a squat, you're gonna dump the weight forward. You're not gonna dump it back because the possibility of letting go and then it's gonna
You
snap
mean
your
dump
arm.
it forward? I don't understand how you're gonna dump it forward.
So think of like you're doing like when people
You
throw.
mean just gonna rest? You're gonna go down forward with
No,
it?
well, most of the time you can't get it back up, but you can at least like dip it over your head and throw it, kind of thing. Like you would just lean forward and drop it in front of you as opposed to backwards.
I don't know about that.
I'm pretty sure that's how you bail on a squat.
Every time I had a bill, I just go down with it and let the safety bars, get it.
Well, yeah, that's if you have safety bars, but if you don't, I'm pretty sure you basically just dump it forward. Because if you dump it back, you have the possibility of it getting caught on your arms, let's say, and then actually breaking your arm on the way down. Because your arm would create that hook kind of thing. Like if you
Yeah,
had
I know what
think
you're
of
saying.
yeah, like think if you have the squat bar and it slips out of your hands on your back. Imagine that where you can't where that's what I'm saying. That's more like I can see as an emergency kind of bail. Like that's an extreme, like you're working out by yourself or something, and
Yeah,
it just.
but the spotting technique I'm telling you is for when you actually have a
Oh
spotter,
no, I
right?
agree, but I'm just saying I could
Now,
like
if you're by yourself and you don't have anyone spotting you at all, and you're out in a cave in the middle of nowhere, then sure, try to, I guess, throw it over your head. But I mean, one way that weight's coming off you.
oh yeah, I either with you or without you. um, but I'm pretty sure you bail from a squat throwing it forward. You just basically kind of like almost lean your upper body forward and just almost
See, I don't see that being productive at all.
How come?
I mean, you're going to try to lean for you. Okay, so imagine you have 450 pounds in your back, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to try to lean forward and let that bar come over your head
Well, that's
and
one
hit
of
the
the.
back of your roll off the back of your head
Well, that I
onto the
mean,
ground.
you gotta think you're bailing, so yeah, there's gonna be things happening. Well, you're not supposed to let it roll. It's kind of like you kind of have a little bit
Let's just think
of a
about this.
toss.
You have it on you have it on like the little crook of your back, right? You're holding it on that little like kind of bench basically on your back. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now you can hold it there without your hands. If you lean forward a little bit, you can basically hold that weight right there.
Correct.
Okay, and then you just take your arms out from underneath and just stand up basically, or push it back, and it's going to come right off. That to me
Well,
seems more like a
at the
better
same
way of
time,
getting rid of weight
think of it this
than
way.
trying to take it over the top of your head.
Well, think of it this way: you get stuck halfway, right? You can't just dump it back. You have to basically get your hands out from underneath it and get your body out from underneath that bar before that bar hits the ground, or it's gonna snap your lower back on the way down, or it's gonna roll down your back. So you think of 450 pounds where you have to let go of the bar and get out from underneath that, because that's 450 pounds coming down on you, and that's on your spine. That's not, and God knows if you fall on top of it or fall backwards with it.
I'm just telling you, I'd let that shit roll off my back.
See,
I'm
I
gonna
don't.
try to bring it over my head.
You gotta. I think you gotta dump it forward, because you can at least step back. You can't. It's a lot easier to step back than step forward on that. And forward, you at least know where you're going too. You gotta think you don't have as much control going backwards.
Let's get it off.
Hmm.
We should test it. Let's test it. I'll load
Sheesh.
you up with 500 pounds. You just go down, and we'll do different ways. We'll
So
do the back way, and we'll do over the head way. See which one wins.
so next week when one of us
Yeah.
isn't here,
Next
we'll
week
know what happened.
we're gonna put 10 plates on it.
10 plates. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's about right.
five on
Yeah.
each side.
It's funny because like when you get to like 400 pounds, like wait, how many plates are on there? Like oh shit, I can't even count that much. Um,
And we are gonna test this. We are gonna test the bailing techniques.
we're gonna get kicked out of the gym.
It's okay. My my membership is almost expired,
That's
anyways.
true. Once it expires for you, I won't be going there at all either. So,
I'll be
um,
the guy that cracked the floor from throwing 500 pounds off his
well,
back.
no, we can do it with the safety bars, obviously for safety. And just dump it on the safety bars. And be like, what happened? You guys was dicking around. Like, no, we just tried to go a lot higher than we could. Like, what's your normal weight? Not 500 pounds. um, and speaking of that, actually, one of the things that I actually saw in the magazine, going back to the magazine, was they talk about doing air squats, which sounds kind of dumb and not worth it, but you really don't realize how difficult air squats are without weight on your back. Um, One of the things they point out is that when you don't have a weight on the back, it actually puts more emphasis on on your quads and stuff, since it's not so much weight of or quads or glutes and hams. One of the things, one of those. I'll have to look at it again. But yeah, I noticed that in Muay Thai, like we'll do like just air squats or jumping squats. It's extremely difficult. Like you do like 30, 40, like good lord, I'm exhausted. And, like I usually can do a lot more of this, with weight. But you've never done air squats, have you?
No, I have.
Often?
No, I mean I've done them maybe a couple times in my life.
Do you do 'em- Well, obviously you don't do them as a warm up. But do you do anything for a warm up other than just lifting the weight kind of thing for squats or
No,
anything like that, or
just
deadlift?
just put 135 on the bar and warm up with it.
Now you've been supersetting squats and deadlifts, right? Do you find that you can get deeper on your deadlift while squatting because it's stretching you out?
I feel a lot better when I'm doing that.
But
I
do you feel like you can get deeper on the deadlifts because of the squats?
it's funny because I feel like I can actually get deeper on the squats.
Because of the deadlift.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kip, we have a
It's
conundrum.
huh?
Kip, we have a conundrum.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but no, yeah, whenever I do that, I do it occasionally. I haven't been doing it as much.
Uh huh.
Um, but I mean, I probably do it maybe 2 times a week, 2 times a month, where I superset both of them. But yeah, no, then I get deeper on my squats, and it feels easier for some reason.
Now, did you take a pre workout today at all, or
Yeah, I did.
now how did you feel after not having caffeine for a week?
It,
Did you feel
yeah,
like you were floating or anything? Because I know when I when I didn't take caffeine for a year or whatever, and then I drank like 2 3 cups. I felt like I was just a ghost, like floating around. Like I felt like I'd accomplished everything in the world.
No, see, I think it's back to this pre-workout I have. It's not really like a crazy like pump you up pre-workout. It's more like
Is the
a
Bull Knox?
no. I'm taking that hypershock stuff.
Which
The
one's that?
Bolnox is the one that I really liked, but I got kind of like burnt out on it, and so I switched to this hypershock stuff. It's like that 8 hour energy thing.
Oh,
It's like
uh
the
huh.
8 hour release
Yeah, the
energy
one that you said
thing
he couldn't
that
sleep
we
for
did
like
like the
all night.
review last week on, and weren't too impressed with it, or I wasn't too impressed with it. It has a great ingredient profile, but just in terms of pumping you up to go to the gym, it's like it brings you up. Like let's just say you drank like 2 cups of coffee, it like brings you to that level and then maintains it for like 8 hours. Seriously.
Hmm. I wonder how they
um,
accomplished that though.
and so it felt. I mean, I felt more before I left for vacation. I was like, night. I just take it just for the ingredients because I didn't even feel anything at all anymore. And today I felt, better, but still not probably the same if, like, let's say I took a month off of it.
Uh huh.
But, it is what it is.
Well, better in terms of better in the good sense with you could do more, or better in terms of like you don't feel the after effects of it,
No,
the
I
side
can't do
effects.
more with that stuff. It doesn't like make me want to do more weight. Let's just say
Mm-hmm.
it's just like okay, a little extra. I don't know, pep in my step.
Find you dancing out of the parking lot, kind of thing. I did that at Publix one time. Like for some reason, I just did like a like the little leprechauns do that like jumping side kick type thing, kick or leg
Uh huh.
ankle click. I like did something like that. I don't know why. And this old lady just looks at me. She goes, "Somebody must be happy." I was like, it was kind of funny. Completely
Like I'm just
random.
really high.
Completely random story. Yeah, I feel like a total jackass. Um,
You should feel like a total jackass.
that's because I am a total jackass. But that's a different story. Speaking of
All right, let's. I want to go on to this thing before we take too long. So we're already at 30 minutes. Um,
37.
37.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Let's get the breathing out of the way. Um, let's talk about that because I found that interesting, and I was trying to kind of explain it to you today a little bit while we were squatting, and just give me your input on kind of like the breathing aspect of weightlifting in terms of how to breathe during lifts, what it does for you, and so forth and so on. I mean, what did you think of it? I mean, we're talking about breathing during your squat or during like your heavy lifts, like you know breathing during your squats, breathing during your deadlifts, breathing during your bench, and how it can benefit you from breathing the correct way.
Well, that's one of those things. Like having done it today, it's one of breathing is one of those things I've always had an issue with, and the way he told me to do it today definitely helped. Uh, it's it's one of those things where breathing is obviously important because it's when it's gonna help you tighten up your core and whatnot when you inhale and exhale, and there's different obviously there's different schools of thought, but the typical is breathe out on the down and then breathe or exhale when you're repping it out, like either at the top of the bench or going back to the top or going back up on the squat and deadlift. And the way you taught me today was kind of breathe in all the way down and then halfway up on the second half of the lift, exhale. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can see that being beneficial. The only hard part it was essentially getting that big first breath. Um, yeah, there was at one point where like I didn't breathe correctly and I kind of went down 2 inches and then I stopped and I came back. That yeah, don't do that. So if you're gonna focus on breathing while you're lifting, just focus on that and don't think of too many other things or you're gonna hurt yourself. Like that really hurt my back.
Well, I mean, I kind of tell everyone what I was talking about is um, it's basically this um, what's his name? He's a personal trainer that does he does professional powerlifting around the world, And he was kind of talking to me a little bit about breathing, and he's like asking me, do you breathe during your lifts? Or I was like, I breathe during my lifts. And he's like, well, how do you breathe? And he was going over all these different like breathing techniques that he's been
Yeah,
taught, and
I think we actually
that
touched upon a little bit last week, but
we
we can
did.
go into
But
it.
basically, it's it's just to go over it again. It's like where you take a very it's a big breath before you do a set, or before you do a lift or rep.
It's
But
like
you
a
hold it
prango
in your
breath.
stomach. You don't hold it in your upper chest. You actually breathe into your stomach, and kind of like push your you push your stomach out. Um, there, so right before a split second before you actually go down on a squat or pull up on a deadlift, or take the bar off the rack for a bench, you take in a deep breath, all right, and you hold it there. You come down or up on your lift, however, if you're doing a deadlift or squat. So like for a squat, you say take the bar off, and then right before you go down, you inhale into your stomach, and then you go down. um, and what this is supposed to do, it's supposed to kind of help you keep your posture in line, with the rest of your body. So you keep like on squat, you don't get your back out of shape, and the same on deadlift. So you take an inhale deeply, go down, you start coming back up, and about 2/3 of the way back up on your squat, you start to exhale, and then you should be all completely exhaled by the time you lock out your knees, and then you repeat the process over again. And I found this interesting. I've been trying to do it. I haven't been perfect with it, so I'll just forget sometimes. But when I do think about it, I've been trying it. So like today, like halfway through our squat workout, I remembered to actually do that breathing technique,
Hmm.
um, and started doing it again, and it felt good. So, but yeah,
Have you done any more research on it at all, or
no, I mean I was told about it, and then just like went on vacation, so I haven't even looked it up.
yeah? Well, yeah. When you're
But
on vacation, it's
this
kind of
guy's
tough.
like, I mean, I looked this guy up on powerliftingwatch.com, and he is like a top 50 powerlifter I think in the world right now, or at least on powerlifting.com,
Do you
powerliftingwatch.com.
do you see him
And
often at
so, I
all,
mean, you
or
take his advice.
do you see him often at all?
Yeah, every time I go to the gym in Sarasota.
Ask him if he's gonna be going to that competition. I don't. Well, actually, I'll find out if they're still having it. But the one that's supposed to be at my gym in December. Hello, test.
You hear me?
Yeah,
All right, we had technical difficulties.
connection
Internet dropped.
connection kind of.
He's going to the USA, like I forget what it is. It's called. I forget the name of it, but it's the one here in Tampa. Not the one at your gym. There's a event here in Tampa that's like sponsored by, or it's a US. I forget the name of it, but yeah.
Do you know
Um,
where it is or when it is? Or
it's in March here in Tampa.
hmm.
I guess they have it every year, but it's like the biggest powerlifting league in the world, I guess, where everyone competes. But he does those around the world.
Hmm.
But yeah,
So I guess it's yeah. I mean, the breathing does help. And it maybe it might just help because it's something different. It's kind of like when you do something different, it works great, and then you just get used to it, and it won't do anything. But um, yeah, it helped me a little bit today when I was doing that lift. Obviously, I wasn't doing it perfect or anything, but yeah, it helps.
you gotta get used to it though, and you gotta remember to do it. That's the hardest problem I have, is remembering to actually do it.
Well, it's like swimming. Breathing is the hardest part in swimming is getting that breath in every other stroke. But once you get it, it's
You
you're
gotta
good.
catch your breath between strokes, don't you?
Yep. Mhm. That's what the Astroglide is.
you
It's water based, so you slide through the water
you
better
paid a little bit too much
with less
attention to the
strokes.
ad. You're like,
No,
maybe I need
well,
to
the thing
go out
is
and get
too
some
is
Astroglide.
color wise, it's a very dark page and it's just purple, so it stands out. You're like, what is this? And you're like, oh my god, it's.
It is a little lonely here in Florida.
I mean, I remember one time I was walking to the bus stop in college and I just because we used to cut through like the backyards of the apartments and stuff in our apartment complex. And I just find a box of Astroglide like laying out in, in like the yard. I was like, what the hell? It was
Remember
crazy.
how funny that was? You lived in one apartment building behind mine, and it was probably like maybe like 100 yards away from mine. But yeah, you got off at the bus stop by Wendy's, and I went around the whole entire circle. and got off the bus stop in front of the apartment complex.
No,
Remember
I
that?
got off. I never got off. No, because it was the one on a. We got off on this. No, no, you got off on the bus stop right by. Yeah, it was like a 100-yard difference, but it wasn't in front of Wendy's at all. We
Yeah,
we were next.
you used to go the back way through the apartment complex.
Well, there was no front way
Yeah, there was.
for
Like the
Stonebridge.
one right across from the other from Greenwich Greens.
Greenwich.
That was right where the leasing office was right there in the front, which I consider the front since the leasing office is right there,
Like
and the
Greenwich
back
Greens
way was all the
or
dumpsters
Stonebridge.
were. I consider that the back way.
No, I never went.
I don't think they would greet people with dumpsters. Do you?
I never went the back way. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you used to get off. You're like, all right, this is my stop, and then you would not want to go to the bus stop I got off at because it was like 100 yards more for you, or at least you thought it was.
Nah, I think you're confused, but
I don't think I'm confused. I
because
know what I'm talking about.
you used to get off on
We can
the.
go back to Gainesville and we can ride the buses, and I'll show you
Yeah, we're
exactly
gonna
what
have
you're
to.
talking about.
Do you still have your ID?
I do.
We just had to show the IDs to get on the bus, right? We didn't have to scan it or anything.
No, we just showed them.
Okay, so yeah, we can ride the bus for free.
Yeah,
We'll do that.
unless they changed the Gator One logo or whatever.
They probably made it where you have to have like an RFID tag or something. Actually, I remember I purposely went and got a new ID and have it like stored away so that I can use it for things like that. So it's brand new. It doesn't look like it's not falling apart and stuff. It still has brand new picture of me and stuff.
Do
But
you do you remember that if your ID the little magnetic strip on it got too scratched up from wear and tear, that they would replace it for free?
yeah.
Okay, that happened to mine just from taking to the gym so much.
Mhm.
Because all I had to take was my car keys and my ID,
Mhm.
and it got scratched up just from regular wear and tear over like 2 years time. And so I took it to wherever you have to go to take it to get a new one. And I'm like, hey, the gym people said I needed a new one because it doesn't scan anymore, and they're tired of typing my information in,
Yeah.
and it's like that. And they're like, oh, that's gonna be $15. I'm like, no, 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 no. I was like, this is normal wear and tear. I didn't lose it. I didn't cut it up. I didn't break it. I mean, like this is just it's just scratched up a little bit. It doesn't work anymore. Like, yeah, it's gonna be $15. Sorry, we don't do that. I'm like, all right, forget it. And so for like the next like 5 months, the people at the gym got so pissed off because I went there every day and they had to actually type in all my information. They couldn't just scan my card. That eventually they just got me a new one. I guess someone called up and was like, "Hey, this kid needs a new one. We're tired of like typing
That's
this
funny.
information."
See, we used to go to
So
the we used to go there play racquetball enough that the people knew who we were. Like every day, we would be in there every same time every day. Like we didn't have to scan our IDs. And we're like, yeah, just go through. Like it was pretty funny. Um. So yeah, this week we're gonna do a exercise of the week, which will be. Jason has disappeared. I don't know where he went.
I'm here.
Here, hold on a second. Let me do something real quick before we announce what the exercise of the week is.
Oh, we're starting this new thing. We should explain we're starting this new thing.
Yeah, we're gonna try and do.
We're gonna try to do a few things here. We're gonna try and do the supplement of the week. Depending on how that goes.
Or kind of
Um,
implement the protein reviews and stuff into here, since we haven't done it in
yeah,
a while.
we're gonna start doing. If for all of you who don't know out there, we all did protein reviews on YouTube, but
You should check them out.
it literally is an entire day's production worth. Like we used to do it, and we would meet together, get up in the morning at like 8 in the morning, and if we were lucky, we'd get done at like 9, 10 that night.
Well, maybe not
And
that long, but yeah. Well, recording did take a while in production. Well, one of the things too is finding a quiet place to record because you don't realize how much sound you can pick up. Like just a refrigerator running. It's like it's just
well,
it takes a long
especially when you
time.
have a good microphone and everything, and it's
Yeah.
just yeah. But so yeah, we did all these protein reviews on YouTube, and we're gonna try to think of a way to kind of bring that into our podcast because just basically podcasts are much more feasible um, ways for us to talk about working out,
That's much more
um,
organic.
supplements and stuff like that than actual YouTube videos are just purely based on a production you know
Time basis.
time. Yeah.
You know what I just realized? One of the things is I know most people listen to the there are RSS readers and stuff, but there are a couple of views on YouTube. I realized nobody has said anything about like, oh, these are a bunch of fat dudes talking because they don't want to record a video because they're fat. I'm surprised we haven't gotten that from YouTube people. Because YouTube,
YouTube hasn't said anything like that yet.
no, which is shocking considering all the other comments you get on typical YouTube videos. You know,
My favorite one was still like, what did he call you? He called
he,
you like,
like a Muppet fuck or something.
no, 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 no. He called you like a fat man and he called me Bones or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, that was on the first Isoflex video, which is the first one we ever made, which is the possibly the worst protein review ever, and
And
I
it
think
was
it
like
actually
this
has the most
really skinny,
reviews.
like pothead black guy
Yeah,
that made.
yeah,
I mean, he
living in
had
his
like,
graffitied room, like oh yeah, it's
and
very
he tried to
weird.
do rat. All his other videos on YouTube had he was like a wannabe rapper, and he was like
Yeah,
horrible, and he was like maybe like 120 pounds, like soaking wet with his dreads and everything
yeah,
included.
yeah. He's
And
he's
he was like
smoking weed while
calling
he's
me
recording himself
Bones.
rapping.
I'm not Bones. I weighed 200. I weighed myself 220 pounds. I'm not Bones. I mean, it was just. I mean, even when we made the video, I was still like 210 pounds.
Yeah, well, I mean, granted, at the time we made that video, we'd kind of come off of a non-working out
Oh,
stage.
that
Like,
was we hadn't worked out in a long time.
yeah, like I hadn't working out because what was I doing? I don't know. I was doing other stuff, and you
Work.
you were just moving and stuff. Yeah, so, yeah, it had been a bit a while. So yeah, you look at that video and you look at us now, we look completely different almost. But yeah, it was very funny, and then getting all the comments like, "Oh, you guys are just a bunch of fat kids. You can't lift anything." We're like, actually, we can hold our own. We're
I'm
not where
still
we
waiting for
used to
that
be,
one
but
kid who like was bragging about like benching like 275 or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, stuff like that. He's like, yeah, I can like press 1,600 pounds. Like, oh, great, happy, good for you, buddy. Doesn't mean shit.
But
Um,
anyway, so yeah, we're trying to get back to this routine where we're going to start incorporating
more
more supplement
structure.
reviews and more in-depth reviews than we've been doing instead of just saying, oh yeah, I liked it, it made me feel this way. Actually, we can go into maybe spend like 10 minutes of the each podcast probably reviewing a protein,
Oh, about
and
ten
then
minutes. It's a
we're
lot,
going to try
but
to incorporate this exercise of the week, which we kind of want everyone to go out and try this exercise. This probably, they're probably going to be exercises that you guys didn't know existed or just don't like to do until you actually get used to it. And so we'd like to get way to start this stuff out, and we're open to suggestions. If you guys think of anything else that you'd like us to do, like to incorporate into a weekly thing, would be awesome. Let us know.
or if you have any kind of ideas for a contest, I'm trying to come up with a way of giving away shirts, um, some kind of crazy thing or
I
something,
think we should do is like when we get a bigger fan base, because what did you say? Right now we're up to like 25
something
listeners.
like that.
We
I
should
don't really
do.
check much because I don't check much because I'm not so much concerned with how many people listen to us. Like that's not my goal, kind of thing. It's more of have fun while we're doing this and try and share what we know and what we don't know and how we our journey, as some people might say, on our path to strength, health, and fitness. Yeah, so yeah, something like that. 25.
Yeah, but I mean, I was thinking maybe like for a contest we could do something like we did that we participated in an online powerlifting meet. That'd be kind of
That
fun.
would be
But we
interesting,
had,
actually. That would be
huh?
a good. I'd be down for that once we have quite more people.
Yeah, we'd have to have enough people actually sign up
Yeah,
for
yeah,
it though,
obviously, and enough people to
because
compete
we
in
would
different
try to
weight
provide
categories.
like at least like some kind of prizes or something for like first place, second place, third place.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it that kind of comes with the territory because, like we were talking earlier, like I really don't. You said something, and I said I'm not here to suck up to any supplements or anything like that. We don't have any advertisers or anything like that. Yeah, we're pretty no holds bar, so we really don't have anybody backing us with regards like, oh hey, we'll give you some free stuff if you guys want to do a giveaway. But that's one of those things. If we ever have a bigger fan base, it's a possibility. People are like, hey, like we like the fact that you guys tell what you feel or tell us what you feel about certain things, and here's some knee wraps or something. We can just give those away. Um,
Speaking on that topic though, I was talking to the pro I work out with about sponsors, and because it would be nice to get some free protein and not have to pay for this stuff anymore.
yeah,
And
but
he
see,
was
but
telling
by the
me,
same token, then you gotta suck up to it. You're like, oh, I don't like these
no,
kinds of things,
he
but they're
didn't
so
do he
great.
didn't do anything. He said, I mean, this guy, he said he's been sponsored by VPX. He's been sponsored by a bunch of different protein companies, and he said he's like it's basically really easy. Like all you have to do is well, what he did is all he did was he basically recorded himself lifting some really heavy weight, sent it into all these companies, videos of himself doing this,
Oh,
and he said he started getting calls back. He
we
goes,
should do that with really lightweight.
but this guy, I mean, this guy is 310 pounds, and he said a lot of companies kind of shied away from that because they don't want their image being,
Yeah, they want the
a
uber
five foot
lean
eight,
guy
three
who's.
hundred and ten pound guy.
Hmm.
They want an image of a guy more like, well, he said more like myself, who's 6 foot, 6'1" on a good day.
Or aren't you narcissistic?
Um,
Looking for a
that's
tall white guy with who works out. And,
that's what he said. Well, he said it's easier for my, I guess, build to get sponsorships than it is for himself to get sponsorships.
hmm.
But he's like, that's all you have to do is just, videotape yourself doing some stuff and send it in.
We should do it with really lightweight. Like we put 25s on the bar and start screaming doing squats while we're wearing like knee high socks and short shorts. Basketball
No,
style.
full body wraps, full body wraps, like a like a
Ah, yes!
like
Ugh, nailed that
like
lift.
a powerlifting belt. Knee wrist wraps on just for fun.
I don't have wraps, so I'm gonna use duct tape. That would be kind of
A
funny.
unitard, a squatting unitard.
I don't have a unitard, so I'm using a leotard. Toot toot.
You might as well just do it in a speedo,
Oh Jesus. Oh speedos.
just all wrapped up. We should go. We should go into my gym like one last time
Just
and
oiled
just
up.
do like do get into a speedo and just start doing squats in speedos.
Just go in there in, like really tight pants or the like like the biker shorts type of things.
Well, it's funny though, but I have seen like they must either be European or gay. I don't know, but I have.
Like they're either European or gay. Like either one, like something is wrong with it.
Well, they're just wearing like really incredibly short shorts.
Uh-huh.
Like, I mean, they were like crazily short shorts. That's all I know how to say it. I
What were they
mean,
doing?
huh?
What were they doing? Were they doing like
Just walking around in these short ass shorts.
she or he?
He,
Oh,
I've seen a couple of them do that where they're just wearing like shorts that barely cover anything. They're not speedos, but they might as well have been. And
it's
I'm
all
like,
about
what is
feeling
this?
free.
Huh?
It's all about feeling free.
Yeah, they're sitting there
Freedom.
doing lunges in like these short shorts that go up their ass every
Stuff
single
starts
time.
peeking out.
They're yeah,
Hello,
they're,
guys.
you're
It's
like, what
very
you
cold
see?
out here. Oh, hello, Peter. So we sidetracked there.
Well, and I just pissed off the entire European, I guess.
If you can't laugh at yourself, then you can't laugh
They're
at
they're
it.
not afraid to show some stuff off. That's their
No,
thing. Like
in
they're
a way you
totally
can't.
comfortable with
You,
showing that stuff
you can't
off.
fault them for it though. They're like, shit, this is my body.
Yeah,
Accept it.
they love their bodies.
Um,
We're just a bunch of prudes out here.
we are. It's just funny because as overly sexually stimulated of a culture we are, we're very prude, which I've always found
But
interesting.
okay, let's go ahead and get into the
Yeah.
keep it on track and get on to the exercise of the week.
So the exercise of the week is
Glute ham raises.
that was you said that in such an exciting manner. Like I'm completely enthralled right now.
You're supposed to say it at the same time, you jackass. You're supposed to say it
Oh
like
well,
after
you did.
after the drum roll went over.
All
We
right,
were supposed to say glute ham raises together,
let's try
and
it
it would have
again.
been
Let's try it
awesome.
again. Ready?
Okay.
Glute
Glute
ham
ham raises.
raise.
Yeah,
You in plural?
you,
Nah, we'll
you,
have to work on
you,
that.
you yelled it, you screamed it.
I try to make it exciting.
Okay, let's try it one more time.
And this week's exercise of the week is
Glute ham
ham raises.
raises.
ta-da! Yeah, that was a
Okay,
little better. Whatever.
much
Um,
better.
but yeah, that's glute ham raises. If you haven't done it, it's that funny looking machine in the gym, if they even have it in the gym. Um,
Yeah, it's hard to find. Only I guess larger gyms will have them.
mm-hmm.
But this is probably one of the core exercises to increase your deadlift. And let's just say like
And even your squat,
you,
because it's gonna work those
well, yeah,
posterior chain.
But I mean, let's just say you haven't done these before. You start doing these for a good month, and you're going to add at least 50 pounds to your deadlift.
Yeah, easily.
Um, and I mean, you have to do them correctly. So I mean, I encourage. I can't show you on a video because this isn't YouTube, but I
But you can
encourage
look up,
everyone who's
yeah, just
listening and curious about it. You need to go just Google glute ham raises, and you will see videos on how to do them. Base, you're basically working your entire like posterior chain when you're doing these, which is going to work out everything. I mean, it's a really good exercise. But
and you
make sure
can.
you do it correctly because I was watching. We were actually doing them today, and a guy jumped in with us. He wasn't doing them. It looked like he was doing them, but he wasn't doing
No,
them.
he
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 was
was
doing
he
like
he actually was doing them. You weren't doing them. You were doing more
no,
of
no,
a
no, no.
hype back extensions, I think.
He was doing like ab workouts or
No,
something.
you're supposed to end up on your knees at the end of a glute ham raise.
No.
Yes, because you're supposed to. You can actually kind of do a semi similar exercise if you have a friend. You basically get into a kneeling position and have them hold your ankles, and you basically just fall forward onto the ground. And when you get to the ground, just push up back into the kneeling position. And it's essentially almost the same exercise because there's no weight involved. It's completely a body exercise, um, or a body weight exercise. But yeah, if you have a glute ham machine, it's like it says, it's gonna work out your glutes and your hamstrings, which, as we all know, is part of the main muscle groups in your legs, which are tend to be very hard muscles to hit if you don't do just something like that or bridges.
But yeah, that's the exercise of the week.
So yeah, look it up. Try to incorporate it into your workout.
Now I will say that I've been doing these both with my back day and with my leg day. I have like one main leg day, which is usually on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have my back day, which is on Wednesday. And I've been trying to incorporate them into both of those days. But I mean, if you guys just want to try them, just do them on one of those days. Just either try it with back or try it with legs, and just do it on one of those days. Throw it in there, and try it out.
Yeah, you can use it as either a warm up or even as like a post workout type of supplementary exercise. And yeah, it'll get you. It'll activate those muscles you haven't felt in a while, from like when you first started
Yeah,
squatting.
you'll be a little sore the next day if you've never done these before.
And if you're like Jason, you might break the toilet seat. So
The
we'll,
problems I have in life.
we'll have to say that story. But yeah, if you have
Yeah.
any questions, comments, or concerns, show at eatsleeplift.com. That's SHOW at eatsleeplift.com. We welcome anything and everything. Pictures, videos, critiques, comments, ideas, whatever. Um, you have anything to add? No,
Yeah.
maybe. Any closing comments?
I don't have any closing
Okay, I was
comments.
asking. So yeah, this is podcast 13, episode 13. Dennis and Jason here with eatsleeplift.com. Thanks for listening, subscribing, watching. Yeah, check out all the protein reviews. I'm trying to get some more videos up soon. And until next week, lift
Till
heavy.
next week.